Well, my take it is part of the bigger national frustration and it's also a reflection of our own failure. When I say our own failure, first as politicians and also as leaders of the All Progressive Congress, we came in with a lot of promise around commitment to address the challenges of insecurity. And I remember that was top of the agenda.
Yeah.
Many of us, and I'm sure I'm speaking for many of us who were very active back then, believe and truly committed ourselves that once the APC win the 2015 election, the problem of insecurity will be a thing of the past, at least not the crisis of insurgency and the kind of vulnerability of lives, human life, Unfortunately, here we are. Things have really gotten worse. And it's saddening that even in terms of public debate, we have really taken a back seat. These are issues, look, to be fair to Buhari, I will say this, to be fair to Buhari, I remember when similar killings happened in Benue and Plateau around 2017.
Yes.
Both himself and Osibanjo visited those places. Now we are having a situation where the number of lives that have been lost are far more than what had been lost in 2017. But other than a press statement, which means that this has now become normal, it's no more a challenge to governance. And I think as politicians and as people who believe that this country need to be better, we need to take up the challenge and ensure that it's no more a question of public commentary.
Yeah.
It's a question of practical engagement. And it's not, governance is not about Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president, or governance is about how you are able to manage the relationship among people and how you utilize those relationships to be able to address challenges such as the problem of insecurity as we are facing now. I will say that the last 8-9 years, if anything, this is the evidence of failure.
Yeah, it's it's one of the things that I admire about you is your candor, because a few of us who were part of since 2015 of the APC administration at the presidential level, and then we are out of this, we've done the 8 years, we come out, anytime we make any critical comment, people just say, hey, how can you be part of it? But the problems of the country, they are still there. It's embarrassing that now APC has spent 10 years. In May next month, it's going to be 10 years that APC has been in government. And to stick to this insecurity problem, the problem is still persisting. In your view, I know you're a politician, but I know that you're also a thinker. What do you think is the missing link? What is the thing we are not doing?
You see, the missing link is the fact that we've been pretending and we are almost in complete denial. Apart from the fact that the issues of condition of living have deteriorated to the point where it's legitimate to be a criminal. Apart from that, issues of strengthening the structures of government and even the structure of the security law enforcement agencies, we've been treating it with kid glove. Take the case, just yesterday, is it yesterday or day before yesterday? Economic Council met.
Yeah, on Thursday.
And for the second or third time, the debate about state police was shelved aside. They say it's postponed. Look, I have not been an advocate of state police from the beginning, but I acknowledge the fact that we have deficit in terms of personnel, both at the level of police and at the level of military. Okay, only on Thursday, the NEC met.
Yes.
And the issue of state police was postponed for the second or third time.
Yeah.
And here we are in a country where we know we have deficit in personnel, security personnel, both police and military. A country of more than 200 million people having less than 1 million police, less than 1 million military personnel. I mean, we are deceiving ourselves. You know, so, I mean, and we can't, these are issues, if you are serious, you can declare emergency. What is emergency all about? Emergency is not about removing elected officials. No, emergency is about mobilizing resources and prioritizing that this is what you need to do with that resources. We need resources not just to hire personnel, because personnel will cost money. And if you want to tell yourself the home truth, you also have to address the condition of service of the personnel.
Well, that's a big deal.
That's the big deal, you know, because if you want them to really sacrifice their lives for the country, you need to treat them well. So you need to mobilize the resources. You need to get them the best ammunition possible.
It's so embarrassing.
This debate,
they couldn't even do this in 10 years.
I mean, this was a debate when we were organizing ourselves under APC, preparing for the 2015 campaign that we had. Now, all those, I don't think they are even in the archive. They have been shelved aside. And you can see, and this is part of my shock. I had tremendous respect for Asuwaju. I am one of those who admit, yes, Buhari has failed. But I was confident with Asuwaju, we are going to correct
the
errors of Buhari. But what has happened is that Asuwaju has made Buhari a hero all of a sudden.
Wow.
And until we address the challenge whereby leaders appreciate and could have some sense of disappointment when they let people down. Because that is the experience we are having now under APC. And I'm saying so with every sense of responsibility. I'm saying so with every sense. And which take me to the next point, which is that, yes, we are organizing a coalition. And my message to all our leaders is that it will be much more traumatic if, having gone through APC and failed, we now organize another coalition that will become business as usual, which is why this initial negotiation, we are really engaging ourselves. I mean, the foundation issues, we are not dismissing, and luckily enough, we don't have anybody with the kind of towering profile like former President Buhari, who will intimidate us with some electoral indispensability. So we really have to, we owe it to Nigeria. And I'm telling Nigerians that, look, it is possible to fix this country in our lifetime. And we must commit ourselves. We should forget, yes, all of us are human beings. We have our own shortcomings. Yes, Buhari, Asuwaju, APC may have failed us. But it does not mean Nigerians as a people. Yes, we may have contributed in one way or the other, but we can tighten our belt and hit the road again. And be sincere to ourselves. We must never be in denial, which is why the whole question, where did we get it in APC wrong, has to be addressed. And my answer to that is that we got it wrong because we sacrificed the party. Because it's the party that in the first place will have held public elected officials accountable. Now, the first thing that happened after 2015 is that we moved to a situation where APC almost begin to gradually move in the direction of PDP. Elected representatives become like the landlords. They now send their surrogates to hold leadership position in the party. And then the capacity of party leaders to now, that is how we ended up with a situation where we produce emperors. The president is the leader, the governors are leaders in their state, and whatever they do, right or wrong, people celebrate it.
Even the party structures, and this is not just
exactly
a problem.
Which is crumbled. Which is part of the issue we are telling ourselves in negotiating the coalition. That the starting point, the party structure must be strong enough. We must deploy the first 11 into the party leadership.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about, since we've already gone to the issue of the opposition and stuff. So my view, Malam, so far is that the opposition generally has become very weak. And I'll give you an example. I thought that when the president declared the state of emergency in Rivers State, of course, the Constitution gives him the power to declare a state of emergency, but I don't think the Constitution gives him the powers to suspend a sitting governor or to suspend members of the House of Assembly. I thought that was a great opportunity for opposition members in the National Assembly. With the support of the opposition forces outside, to stand strongly and publicly against the president assuming the powers to effectively sack a governor and National Assembly. Malam, that did not happen. So it tells you that these people, do they understand what opposition is all about?
They didn't. But to be fair to some few people, about 3 of them in the Senate who walk out.
Yeah, the senators, Siriake, Tambua, and,
I think that is the third one. But 3. Abaribe. Apart from those 3, and in the House of Reps, to be fair to the guy who stood and raised question about
the
quorum. For me, what has happened confirmed the point I have made that we don't have parties. None of the parties has convened any of its organ meeting. None. In fact, all of them don't even have the organs. PDP, the closest they came to was when they went to Ibadan, the governors, which is not an organ of the party.
Yeah, it's just an association of governors.
It's just an association of governors. So, look, we are having a major crisis. And when people read the fear of the possibility of a one-party state, my response, you are even assuming APC itself is a party.
That's interesting.
The truth is that APC itself, as it is in its own current makeup, is not a party. It's not a party. All that is happening in APC is that because they have the control, the federal government, so they are able to, when there is an election, to rally around and say, okay, this is their candidate. And on the basis of that, say they are campaigning. Is that what party is all about? That's not what party is all about.
Interesting.
So my argument in terms of rebuilding the democracy itself,
right?
If we are going to be fair to Nigerians and do the right thing, the first thing, we must produce at least one party that is organized as a political party.
What will compel that? With the experience that we've had of even PDP, which is the oldest, look at what is happening with PDP, and then
the point is there is nothing that can compel it better than the commitment of people who are organizing it. If the commitment is reduced to just winning election, defeating APC and Aswaju, then we have lost it.
Absolutely.
And for me, this is where we must tell everybody, we are engaged in almost like a live project. Yes, 2027 is the main focus for now. The short-term focus.
Yeah.
But part of the bigger work is post-2027. And it's at 2 levels. We must tell ourselves the home truth. One possibility, which is the best case scenario, is that we win the election and we are able to defeat APC and President Aswaju. Now, if that happens, Where is the concrete agenda? And how do we even define the current challenges facing the country?
Okay.
Well, starting from, are we going to behave like we did produce very excellent document that will capture the imagination of Nigeria, even though leaders believe all that they put in their mind is that they just want to win election and become president? And we have to do something concrete to demonstrate to Nigerians that this is not just a business as usual.
Okay. So Malam, so why don't you just give us an update then? Because I see that you are really focused on this coalition.
No.
Where are things now? Is it going to be SDP or is it going to be
no? You see,
who are the key drivers?
You see, my point, and even when this issue of decamping came up, I said so very soon all those things would be unveiled to Nigerians. There will be agreement among leaders. There will be decision about which party to join.
So those decisions have not been taken yet?
Even if they have been taken, the strategy of unveiling it has not been finalized.
Okay. Part of the problem about the opposition is also what happened this few days ago in Delta, where you have the old PDP. Now, you know that Delta is one of the strongest bases of PDP in this country since 1999. Even though the presidential election was lost, even by both by PDP and APC in Delta. But what happened in Delta, to me seems as if the people who are joining that camp of Asiwaju, they don't seem to be learning even the lessons that Asiwaju's trajectory has taught the entire nation. Your take, Malam.
You see, first there are two issues that I want you to understand. The Delta issue confirms that in the first place, whatever exists of PDP today is, how do you call it? It's a smoke screen of its old self.
Yeah.
I
think, most people do that.
The mere fact that because we have had cases where even PDP governors have decamped to APC, but we have not had the kind of case they say now they are moving with their whole structure. We've not had that. Now, the second related issue is also the contempt with which elected people hold party leaders. I mean, the mere fact that because a governor has decamped, he says he's moving into, is contemptuous of the leaders of APC in Delta State.
No, even leaders of his own party.
No. The people moving into,
so the fact that the PDP governor is moving to APC is contemptuous.
And he's saying he is moving with his whole structure. It means what he is invariably saying,
right? I
don't recognize the structure that exists there.
Yeah.
I'm coming to replace it.
Yeah. And by the way, you must pity some of our friends, in Delta, who are
I tell you, for me, I am hoping that this will open their eyes and they will now agree to come and engage us, to understand that whatever they hold before was a facade, was not anything substantive. And we need to really come back to the drawing board and really do the right thing.
No, I'm talking of APC progressives in Delta.
No, that's the point I'm making.
Okay.
That's the point I'm making. Because what invariable now, they have become a proposer in Delta.
Because
they don't know their fate any longer.
No, so what is Omo Agege going to do?
Exactly.
Where Festus Keyamo is in government,
No, you can see he is deceiving himself, celebrating, saying, but I wish them good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite that is at that level. But
right.
the other issue which we must address is that look. I mean, what is the vision of individual? If I am able to succeed up to the level of becoming a governor, what is really chasing me that I will now start looking for another party?
Yeah.
What is it that I am not able to do where I am.
So what do you
And
what do you think?
which, for me, I think is based on some flimsy personal calculation, which also exposes their shallowness.
Yeah.
And at another level, is also exposes the fact that they are taking Asiwaju, I will say so publicly, they take Asiwaju for granted.
That's
And for
the people coming in.
people coming in, they take Asiwaju for granted. And
Also,
because they just think, okay, because they are, yes, you relate to them as a governor. But part of the thing I having related with him, I also know that he relates with people smartly based on the calculation of how advantageous it is to him.
Okay, so if they are moving to his party and he wants to run for second time,
I am absolutely sure, this I can say publicly.
Okay.
What Asiwaju will be doing now is to estimate their utility value in 2027 in terms of votes.
Okay.
One day he realized their utility value cannot guarantee him 25% in Delta State. He will go the other way.
Interesting. That's a very,
So I mean,
that's a very
we have to be honest to ourselves and face this in reality.
So do you think, or do you subscribe to the idea that, the Delta PDP leaders that defected, they were twisted by government or by APC?
You see, there may be that issue, but I always tell myself, whoever hold public position is a candidate for one charge or the other. Now, the question is around your own personal character and the motive that push you to take certain decisions while you are there. If your personal character is weak and your motive is not any, I mean, you fall
by public spirit.
Yeah. You
fall by the wayside.
You fall by the wayside, which is what is happening now. But the other interesting fact is that the person who is a serving governor has immunity.
Yeah.
So it tells you that that one, his character is even more than the one who has finished his tenure.
Okay. I have quite a bit of my own worries about some of the things that has happened under Asiwaju's presidency. But I have taken a personal decision that I will wait until the end of the first term. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt for 4 years. Because, and then you make the final comment and we close. Because I think that he still has enough time to fix this thing. He still has enough time to fix it. And I'm hoping that everything that he has represented to many of us, both of us inclusive, Malam, that there is still somewhere in his mind that he still holds those things there. So that we don't end up with a view that all of those were just for the purpose of getting here. And that his legacy will not be tarnished by the attainment of his ambition.
As far back as July 2023, when I saw the direction after the subsidy is gone, declaration, and then the exchange rate, I wrote an open letter to Asiwaju where I talk of disturbing signals. I don't hide my feeling. And the disturbing, why there were disturbing signals, was that critical decisions were taken without any clearly spelled out plan on how to manage the consequences of those decisions and convert them to advantages for the people and for the country. And we are on a roller coaster. I have said that severally. Because as far as I can see now, he's in denial. He beat his chest and people in government beat their chest. He is courageous. He has taken wonderful decision. What is wonderful decision about withdrawing subsidy and floating the exchange rate without a clearly visible economic plan that will guarantee production activity in the country and ensure that people are earning better livelihood? Now, For me, I waited up to around July last year before I declare that no. Because I found out that he has insulated himself. Even within the party, nobody is having access to him. You know, and that is not the kind of progressive leader I thought he is. And by my own estimation, I have said so several times, that was not the way he ran Lagos.
Certainly.
I have said that several times.
Certainly.
Now, for you to even expect anything wonderful to happen before May 2027, I will say you are a dreamer. I will wish you luck in your dream. But if it happens, it will be a pleasant surprise.
Exactly.
For me, I have reached the conclusion, I don't think anything good is going to come out, and which is why we have to start organizing. I am optimistic, I have said so. This country can be fixed in our lifetime. And I pray to God
and that's what
to give us the strength and the courage to engage our leaders. Our leaders are human beings.
Absolutely.
My argument, which drive me to keep engaging leaders, is that being human, they also need support. They need people to guide them. They need strong guidance. If left alone, they will continue to make the same mistakes.